In the name of God, in this session, we get acquainted with another characteristics of vowel. At first, I want to read this text and then I will explain it according to the table and figure. Further vowel feature. The next feature we add for the description of vowels is low. A sound is plus low if it involves lowering the body of the tongue below the natural position. Unlike the features discussed to this point, low is not completely independent of other features. With the two features, high and low, you might expect 4 classes, but in fact, only 3 classes can be distinguished by these two features because the combination of plus low and plus high is excluded. It means that when you say that a sound is plus low, it means that it is not, it is minus high. When you say that a sound is plus high, it means that it is minus low. Or when a sound is plus low, it means that it is minus high. You shouldn't mention these two sounds with each other. But when you want to define the sound who are in the medium of this figure, like this sound, you define them in this way: minus high, minus low. But we don't have the combination of plus low, plus high. It is impossible. We have minus high, minus low for the description of such sounds. This sound. When we want to describe this sound, we say that they are minus high, minus low. But we don't have plus low, plus high. This asterisk shows that this is incorrect. This follows from the definition of these features. We have defined the neutral position of the tongue is its position in pronouncing the vowel a. We consider our tongue, the position of tongue when we produce a as a neutral position of the tongue. A vowel is designated plus high if its articulation involves raising the tongue above the neutral position. I will explain it according to the figure. A vowel is designated plus low if its articulation involves lowering the tongue below the neutral position. Since the tongue cannot simultaneously be raised and lowered with respect to the neutral position, no segment can contain the feature plus low, plus high. It is incorrect. Therefore, we add only 4 more constructs to the Turkish 8 vowel systems, not another 8, bringing the number of possible constructs to 12. These are shown in 9. The vowel a of Turkish is plus low. Even though we didn't count low among the distinguished features of Turkish vowel. We describe the Turkish vowel based on 3 features: high, round, and back. But for describing the vowel of the language, we should sometimes we need these 5 features. Since this is only plus low vowel in the system, and because no other vowel of Turkish is minus high, plus back, minus round, we say that plus low is a non-distinctive feature of Turkish systems, because according to these 3 features we can identify the sound of Turkish. Therefore, we didn't need to say that it is plus low. We don't need to mention the low feature for the Turkish data. We will have more to say about non-distinctive feature in section 3.8. Please pay attention to this table. Here, based on this table, we have some features: plus high, minus low, minus round, minus back. For example, E is plus high, minus low, minus round, minus back. U is plus round, minus back, plus high, minus low. Which when we put a feature inside the parentheses, it means that it is not necessary to mention this feature. We can just mention plus high for the Turkish vowel. But for the vowel who are at the middle of the picture here, we should mention minus high, minus low. This is necessary here for this sound. But when we say that the sound is plus low, it means that it is minus high. Therefore, it is not necessary to mention minus high. When we say minus low, it means that plus high. Therefore, it is not necessary to mention plus high. Because of the limitation of on the features high and low, this feature analyzes the vowel incompatible with the IPA, with its 4 vowel heights based on Daniel Jones' cardinal vowel. The cardinal vowel seems to be based on the vowel distinction of the French, where there are 11 distinct vowel qualities arranged in 4 heights, distinguishing back and front at each height, and a rounded distinction for non-low vowel in tense. The lower mid vowels show a marginal length distinction. Okay, I want to explain this matter based on this feature. As you remember, in the previous session we told you about the 4 features of vowel: high, ATR, round, and back, which I explained them for you. They are very important. You should memorize this table. The vowel of this table and the sound of this both are different according to the American customs. But here we have sounds according to in this picture. The sounds are defined based on the IPA, which you should know all of these sounds. You should memorize these sounds. I want to explain what I told you according to this picture. As you remember, we told you that these sounds which cite here, E, U, E, U, U, they are plus high. You should memorize this picture. You should know the position of these sounds, and you should be able to define the sound according to this feature. Therefore, I want to say you that you must memorize this picture for your final exam. You should memorize this picture. It is very important. As a linguist, you should know the feature of the sound. You should be able to define and describe the vowel according to these 5 features. They are the main feature of the vowel, which we describe all the vowel of the world, all of the languages according to this picture. Okay, I want to explain it. For example, I want to describe E. Pay attention for your final exam. I give you such a questions. We have E. We have a square bracket for the phonetic representation. I want to define E based on that feature. Please, in your mind, remember that feature when I am describing this vowel. According to this feature, I should describe these sounds. According to the high feature, according to the 5 feature, one of them is high. In English, we want to describe these sounds. high, back, low. The order of the feature is not important. High, back, low, ATR, advanced root, ATR, advanced traject root, and other is high, back, low, ATR. We have 5 feature and round. You should define the sound according to this feature. We want to describe E. You should memorize this figure, but here because I am teaching you this feature, you should I refer to this figure, but you should be familiar with these sounds in your phonetic lessons. E is what? E is according to the feature of high. The sounds who are placed at the up of this figure, we consider them as a plus high. These sounds are plus high. These sounds are minus high, minus low, and these sounds are minus high or plus low. It is the position of the tongue. Therefore, E is plus high. It is plus high. About the back, the sound who plays here, these sounds are plus back. We consider them plus back, but they are minus back. They are in the front of the. They produce in the front of your mouth. Therefore, E is minus back. We don't have. We don't describe the sound according to the front feature. Here they are plus back. These sounds, and they are minus back. It is minus back. About the low, when we say that it is plus high, it means that it is minus low. Therefore, it is redundant. We can delete this feature. It is not necessary to mention this feature, because when the sound is plus high, it means that it is minus low. About the ATR, about the E. E is plus ATR. The sound who are in this are here are plus ATR. It is plus ATR. About the round, here, please pay attention to this feature, to this point, that according to this feature, according to this figure, the sounds who are at the right side of each sound of this sound, for example here, the sound who are at the right side of these sounds are plus round, and they are minus round. The sounds who occur at the right side of another sounds, we consider them as a plus round. Therefore, these sounds, all of them are minus round. They are plus round. Here, they are plus round. They are minus round. The sounds who occur at the right side of each sound, of these sounds, for example, and these sounds, we consider them as plus round. Here we have plus round, and here we have plus round. Therefore, E is minus round. It is U is plus round. It is minus round. Minus round. Sometimes I give you this feature, okay, and I want you to predicate the sounds. For example, here I want to write this feature and I want you to guess the sounds. For example, minus high, minus back, minus low. I give you this feature and I want you to guess the sounds. Please pay attention to this point and think about the sound. Which sound can come here? The sound which is minus high, minus back, minus low. About the ATR, it is for the minus ATR and plus round. The sound which is minus high, minus back, minus low, minus ATR and plus round. You please pay attention to this feature and think about this, that which sounds can come here. Which sounds are minus high, minus high. All of these sounds are minus high. Therefore, this sound can come here, can consider as a minus high. Therefore, these sounds are minus high. Okay, we want to describe more feature to determine that sound, minus high. Okay. Which sound are minus back? Which sound has the feature of minus high, minus back? I again refer to this point that you should memorize this figure in your mind and this. Okay, this figure in your mind, you should memorize this table too. Okay. Minus high are these sounds. Minus back are these sounds. Minus high and minus back are these sounds. Another feature, minus low. Minus high, minus back, minus low are these sounds. These sounds. Other feature, minus ATR. At first I want to find this feature and then ATR. Plus round are plus round are this sound. And minus ATR and minus ATR. Okay, here we have that sounds which I can't show that according to the feature which I have. I try to find that sound. Minus high, minus low, minus ATR, plus round, minus back. Am I right? Is this sound? Here, according to this book, we show that in this way, but according to the IPA, we introduced that sound in this way. I try to find its symbol, which is in this sound. This. I want to find that sound. According to American customs, I should put such sounds. I try to find that. I hope we could be able to find that sound. Okay, I think according to IP is that sound. No. Unfortunately, I can't find that sound. Okay, here you should put, I couldn't find that, yeah, it means that this sounds, so sorry, this sounds, and according to IP it is this sound. Here I want to for example, when we change it minus ATR to plus plus ATR, we have these sounds. Therefore you should memorize these sounds. They are very important, and you should know that for describing each vowel we should consider these features, these 5 features, which some of these features, for example in Turkish just 3 of these features were enough to explain their vowel, but in some sounds you should mention these 5 features. But according to this 5 features, we can describe all of the vowel of the languages. I want to explain, I want to give you another example. We want to find the feature of a. We want to describe the a. About the a. Okay. According to the high, you think that it is high or low? A. We told that these sounds are plus high. These are minus high. These are minus high. Therefore, a is minus high. You should exercise this the feature of the vowel. You should exercise them to be skillful in describing these sounds. About the back, it is minus back. They are plus back, they are minus back. Therefore, a is minus back. Is minus back. Okay. About the other feature, which is low, they are plus high, they are minus high, and a is they are minus low. A is plus low. Is plus low. Okay, when we say that the sound is plus low, it means that it is minus high. Therefore, it is redundant. We can delete it, and we can mention that. Another feature is ATR. It is A is minus ATR. I think yes, it is minus ATR because they are we have the advanced track root for pronouncing a. When we pronounce a, we have we face with the advanced root of the language. A is plus ATR. Another feature is about round. As I told you, the sounds who are at the right side of each sound, we consider them as a plus round, but here A is minus round. A is minus round. Okay. You should memorize this table to be able to describe the sounds. It is very important when you want to go to the doctorate. You should be able to answer such a question. And even this picture is very important. According to IPA, we describe the sounds. Some of the sounds are not common in some language, and you shouldn't to describe them, but you should know their position in this picture. Okay, I want you to exercise this the feature of the vowel, because they are very important and should be able to describe them. Like the work which I did, you should write the sounds here and describe them according to this feature by referring to this picture. Okay, I hope you get the point about the vowel. Here we have another vowel in French, I think. Okay, which here we mentioned them. For example, for C we have E, which is in IPA it is close or plus high. It is plus high or close. And we have U, U, it stands for U in IPA. Or tooth, which is plus high. Higher mid, it means that the higher mid or IPA close mid you have here. IPA close mid, which we consider them as minus high, minus low. They are they place in this position. Like the, like P, like boo. Lower mid or minus high, which occur here. Here we have the sounds like A, like O, like U, and other sound which we define them like A, which is IPA open or low, and O. All of these sounds are exist in that picture, and you should memorize them. However, there is good phonological evidence that the division into three heights is correct. Kensovich and Kisebert note that each of the four natural classes designated by value of high and low play a role in phonologies of various languages as follows. Okay, here it explains that so sorry. These two features, high and low, are very important in some of the language, and they should mention in that language. For example, about the plus high in Japanese, T is affricated before the high vowel like E and E, but not before the mid or low. Therefore, if you don't mention the plus high, you can't describe this phonological rule. And in Turkish, plus high suffix vowel assimilated in the round to a preceding vowel, but not high vowel, but non-high vowel don't. We explain this feature of the Turkish. For example, about the minus high in Russian, non-high vowels undergo vowel reduction in unstressed position, high vowel don't. Therefore, knowing these two features is very important in some language, high and low. And according to describing this feature, we can explain that and describe that phonological rule. For example, about the plus low in Cameroon, the low vowel a and a are reduced to schwa in the unstressed position. About the minus low in Cameroon, high and mid vowel reduced in undressed position as follows, in this way. And about minus high, minus low in Lamba, E is lower to E after the mid vowel, but not after the high vowel. Therefore, knowing these two features, low and high, is important to describing the phonological rules of the language. Nevertheless, it is necessary for our feature system to be able to distinguish between the higher mid and lower mid vowel of French and other languages that make such a distinction. The evidence is clearly on the side of the additional vowel feature that further divide the vowel categories of 9. The feature is called ATR for advanced tongue root, or sometimes tense. We consider the ATR, we consider the plus ATR sounds as a tense sounds, and minus ATR sounds, we consider them as a lax sound. Therefore, the feature ATR, which stands for advanced tongue root or tense, for example, many African languages such as Akan and Yoruba have vowel harmony in ATR, advanced tongue root, compared to the vowel harmony in back and drum in Turkish, which I explained for you. For example, here we have when the vowel of the root is minus ATR, the vowel of the prefix which added to that stem is minus ATR. They are the same according to the ATR. And here again, when the vowel of the stem is minus ATR, the prefix which added to that stem is minus ATR. Okay. And here, when the vowel in the stem is plus ATR, the prefix which added to that is plus ATR. And here again, it is plus ATR, it is plus ATR. Therefore, according to the stem vowel, we choose the prefix vowel. According to the ATR, they should be the same. As Kinstowicz and Kisebert point out, if height were the relevant factor, why should O raised to O before A and E but not before E? It is more correct to group the vowel O, A, E from the left column of the 11 of this feature as minus ATR. and the vowel O, A, E from the right column of 11 as plus ATR. 11 feature here. Therefore, O, A, E, O, A, E are minus ATR as I told you, and O, A, E are plus ATR. The vowel A, also minus ATR, has no plus ATR counterpart in Akan, and so can occur with both ATR, plus ATR and minus ATR vowel in the same word. When we add ATR to set of the vowel feature, we obtain the chart interval of our final stem. Okay, it is very important, and you should memorize this table, which you according to this table you can define all of the vowels in the world, in the languages of the world. For example, E is tense, and we consider it as a plus ATR, and it is in this place, which we consider them as a high, plus high. Therefore, E is plus high, plus ATR, minus round, minus back. When I want you, for example, to describe this sound for a final exam, you should say that it is minus low, minus ATR, minus high. When we have minus low, we should say it is not necessary means that plus high. It may be minus high, minus high, minus low, minus ATR, and minus round, plus back. You should memorize this table. E is plus ATR, E is minus ATR, because it is tense, it is lags. A is plus ATR, E is minus ATR. A is plus ATR, A is minus ATR. And about this sound. E, U, E, and O are plus ATR, and this sound which are occurred at the lower position, we consider them as the minus ATR, and they are plus ATR. Okay. Please memorize this table. It is very important. We distinguish the plus ATR low vowel by adding the diacritic in this sound, in this way. This diacritic means plus ATR. Otherwise, the minus ATR vowel have distinct symbol from their plus ATR counterpart, as discussed in chapter 1. Okay, when a sound is plus ATR, we put this diacritic at the bottom or below of that sound. Besides vowel harmony, as in Akan, distributional facts from certain languages such as English argue for ATR as a distinguished factor between such pair of vowel E and A. E, A, A, A. Monosyllabic work of major classical categories in English, noun, verb, adjective may contain plus ATR or minus ATR vowel. But if the vowel is minus ATR, the vowel must be followed by a consonant. Okay, in this, as you see in this data, those vowel who are plus ATR, can come in the, okay, if the vowel is minus ATR, at first I want to explain. Minus ATR, the vowel must be followed by a consonant, like here. When they are minus ATR, they should follow a consonant, like here. It is minus ATR, okay, and we don't have a consonant after that. Therefore, we consider it incorrect. We have asterisk aside this sound, because this vowel is minus ITR and it don't follow by a consonant. We consider it as incorrect. And here we have minus ATR, and we don't have any consonant following it. We consider it as incorrect. And here is minus ATR. We don't have any consonant following that, therefore we consider that as incorrect. This diacritic, which you can see here, it means that it is plus ATR. And about this sound, about this vowel too, we have such a rule. It is minus ATR, but we don't have any consonant after that, therefore we consider it as incorrect. If you pay attention to this data, we have two type of you should be able to know the structure of syllable. In each syllable we have accent and rhyme. Accent can be consonant. Rhyme it has two parts, nucleus and coda. Nucleus is a vowel. A coda is consonant. When we have sometimes we have just accent and nucleus, we don't have any coda. When in the description of syllable, when we don't have any coda, we said that we have the open syllable. We said that sound is in open syllable. But when we have a coda after the nucleus, we say that we have closed syllable. As a whole, I can say that it is a closed syllable because we have accent, rhyme, which contain nucleus and coda. We have these three parts. But here we have just accent and nucleus, and we consider the syllable structure without any coda as an open syllable. Like here it is open syllable. It is open syllable because we have just accent and nucleus. But it is a closed syllable because we have accent, nucleus, and coda. Therefore, I can say that the sounds, the vowel which are minus ATR can't come in the open syllable as a whole. So far we have justified our feature system on the basis of evidence from within the language system, which is sometimes called internal or corpus internal evidence. We consider such data as a corpus internal evidence. Linguists often seek additional evidence from various aspects of language use, such as speech error, poetic language games, and so forth. This is sometimes called external or corpus external evidence. Such evidences, we consider them as external or corpus external evidence. We consider this in more detail in section 6.7. One striking piece of external evidence for the vowel feature comes from German rhyming poetry. As in English, German rhyme requires identifying of a primary stressed vowel and the remainder of the word, so that in English pairs of words like lake and take rhyme as do linger and finger. In German, the stressed vowel must be identical except that they may differ in the feature of round, but in no other respect. That is, they must agree in high and low and back and ATR. Therefore, in German poetry, it is not necessary the round feature of the sounds. It is redundant. Just you should mention they should be the same in this feature: high, low, back, and ATR. Consider the rhyming line in 14. The vowels that rhyme are in bold italic, which is phonetic transcription at the end of the line. In each case, the rhyming vowel differ only in the feature of round. Like here, it is E and U. They are the same according to these four features: high, low, back and ATR, but they are it is minus round, it is plus round. Therefore, the round is not important in this language, in the Germany. E and U, one is plus round, minus round. Minus round, plus round. And here again, we have plus round and minus round. They are not the same as the round feature. And even here, E and U, which is plus round and minus round. The rhyming scheme that requires identifying a vowel except only that round can be different. Is possible only if segments are composed into smaller units, which is features. A simple listing of arbitrary pairs that can be considered rhyme would allow many other pairs to be considered rhyme, which doesn't occur, and would totally miss the generalization that the rhyming pairs in folding differ in round but no other feature. Okay. About the major classes or major class feature, we wanted to read other features more than that 5 feature, more than round, ATR, and low, round, ATR, low, back, and high. Intuitively, the major division of language sound segment is between consonant and vowel. You know that we just divided all of the sounds as vowel and consonant. In continuous speech, there is a constant raising and falling of sonority, with the point of highest sonority identified as the syllable peak. As you know, the syllable peak, which can be a vowel, we consider the syllable peak as a sonorant feature, separated by periods of lower sonority at the margin of the syllable. Okay, you know the structure of the syllable here. The nucleus is the peak of the syllable. In fact, we want to be able to distinguish a somewhat finer division of major classes of segments. In this section, we will consider how these major classes of segments are distinguished in terms of feature. We presuppose such features in section 3.3, where we discuss feature of vowel. Vowel are the basic segments that constitute syllable peak. Okay, the vowel can come at the nucleus place, which we consider the nucleus as a syllable peak. In language utterances, we will use the feature syllabic. Okay, another feature is syllabic. To designate these classes, a segment is plus syllabic if it functions as a syllable peak, which means that it can come at the nucleus position. When a sound, which almost always is a vowel, can come at the nucleus position, we consider it as a plus syllabic, which all of the vowels are plus syllabic. But sometimes some consonant can be plus syllabic. Okay, a segment is plus syllabic if it functions as a syllabic peak. Otherwise, it is minus syllabic. The glides. Here it is not U, it is Y. Please pay attention to this point that it is Y, not U. Y and W, which we consider them as a glide. Y and W are not non-syllabic counterparts of the lax high vowel E and U, respectively. Therefore, the glides like E and W, Y and W are not plus syllabic, they are minus syllabic because that they can come in the nucleus position of the syllabic. Although syllabic peaks are most often vowels, pay attention to this point, that also syllable peaks are most often vowel. Therefore, for the description of the vowel, you can say that they are plus syllabic. Other segment can have this function as well. In English, for example, sonorant, consonant, the nasal and liquid. Sonorant, consonant, the nasal and liquid can be syllabic. Sometimes and always we say that consonant, all of the consonants are minus syllable, but sometimes some sounds like nasals and liquid, I mean the sonorant consonant can be plus syllabic. For example, in 15 you can see their example where the vertical tick below a segment in a transcription denote the syllabic consonant. Okay, this vertical tick here, this vertical tick below the segment in the transcription denotes the syllabic consonant. It means that this ne button, in button we have button or button. This ne is one syllable, we have two syllables, and this ne in the second syllable is a separate syllable. It means that it is a syllabic sound because it can come at the syllable peak, the nucleus position. In bottom, this ne, which we determine it by the vertical tick below that segment as a syllabic. Therefore, this ne here, just here, and in this example, not every day, in ordinary state, we say that ne is minus syllabic, but here in this example, we say that they are plus syllabic. Bottom, this ne is plus syllabic. Or in bottom, this me, which me and ne, both of them are nasal, are plus syllabic. Bottom, le is a lateral and it can be plus syllabic. And bottom, this re can be a plus syllabic. In some languages, a wider range of consonants can function as a plus syllabic segment. In Imdalun, Tashol, Hit, Hayat, Berber, in Berber languages. Any consonant can be a syllabic peak. Okay, in Berber, for example, K can be a consonant as plus syllabic, can come at the consonant at the syllable peak. Kh and ne, de, le, in this language can be plus syllabic, can consider as a plus syllabic. In English, syllabic obstruent may be observed in an interjection like PST means this sound. In English, syllabic obstruent may observe in the interjection like, it means that this sound, which may be considered paralinguistic outside of the linguistic system proper. Therefore, PST means such a sound. A second feature distinguishing among major classes of segment is sonorant. Another feature beside the syllabic is sonorant. A plus sonorant sound is produced with a minimal constriction in the vocal tract. Please pay attention to this point, this is very important. Plus sonorant sound is produced with a minimal constriction in the vocal tract, such that the air pressure is roughly equal inside and outside of the vocal tract. Thus, plus sonorant includes nasal, which we don't have a very structure in the mouth, like nasal, like liquid, like glides and vowels. Therefore, you should memorize this, that we consider nasals like me and ne, liquid like le and re, vowels as a plus sonorant. We consider the nasals, liquid, nasal like me, ne, liquid like re, le, glide like ye, we, and vowels like all of the vowel as a plus sonorant. Minus sonorant sounds are produced with a greater constriction in the vocal tract, such as the air pressure is higher inside the vocal tract than the outside. The minus sonorant sounds are the oral stops, like b, p, fricatives like s, z, affricate like ch. They are minus sonorant. You should memorize this sounds and their feature. Therefore, we have for consonant we have a syllabic feature, sonorant feature, which we explained them for you, and you should memorize them. The third major class feature is consonantal. A plus consonantal sound is characterized by a radical constriction in the central region of the mouth at any point from the upper lip along the roof of the mouth onto the pharynx. Pay attention to this point, that this constriction is intentional. We intentionally block the airstream, and this structure is from the upper lip along the roof of the mouth onto the pharynx. It means that the lower the pharynx, which is glottal, it means that the glottal sounds are not considered as a plus consonantal. We consider them as a minus consonantal. We will exercise them in the next sessions. Therefore, plus consonantal sounds are those sounds which we have intentionally constriction in the mouth, from the upper the lip to the pharynx, and below the pharynx, which we have glottal, we don't consider them as a plus consonantal. SP refers to this area as a sagittal region of the vocal tract. Thus, the oral obstruent, nasals, and liquid are plus consonantal. While, therefore, oral obstruent like B, P, C, Z, K, G, nasal, M, N, liquid, R, L are plus consonantal, while the vowel, non-lateral approximant, and glide are minus consonantal. By this definition, nasals are plus consonantal since they have an obstruction equivalent to that of the stop in the mouth. Even so, the nasal passage is open, and lateral also plus consonantal, because for lateral we have a constriction between the tip of the tongue and the alveolar ridge, la, by virtue of having obstruction in the center of the mouth, even if they permit air passage along the side of the tongue. The three major class features classified, and we would expect 8 categories to be defined in this feature. Okay, here we have this feature which I explained for you about the consonant. We have the syllabic features. They are major class features which when you describe consonant, you should mention these features: syllabic, consonantal, and sonorant. Which syllabic, nasal, flap, and trill are sonorant, consonantal, and syllabic. Syllabic obstruent, like in Berber, they are minus sonorant, plus consonantal, plus syllabic. Vowel, all of the vowel are plus sonorant, minus consonantal, and plus syllabic. As we told you, all of the vowel are sonorant and syllabic, plus syllabic and plus sonorant, and they are minus consonant because we don't have any structure in the mouth for or any blocking for producing a vowel. Syllabic he and a are minus sonorant, minus consonantal, and plus syllabic. They are minus consonantal because they produce in the glottal position. They are not, and we considered below pharynx as a minus consonantal. Nasal, lateral, flap, and trill are plus sonorant, plus consonantal, minus syllabic. Obstruent minus sonorant, plus consonantal, minus syllabic. And oral glide like ye, we, approximant, except lateral are plus sonorant, minus consonantal, and because we don't have any structure for the producing ye and yue in our mouth. Syllabic are they are minus syllabic. They can't come in the syllabic peak. And a and he are minus sonorant, minus consonantal, and minus syllabic. Okay, here we have some point. Okay, therefore I will explain the feature of consonant and other features of consonant in the next session, but here I want to for example describe the sound C according to this feature. That was for vowel, but for the consonant we should consider these three features. Syllabic, which I abbreviate it in this way, syllabic. Sonorant, which I abbreviate it in this way, and consonantal. You should be able to define the consonant according to these three features. For example, I want you to describe C according to this feature. C is fricative. Okay, you think that fricative are plus syllabic or minus syllabic? We want to determine it. C is fricative. Okay, fricative. What is the feature of fricative? C is fricative. Okay, fricative are plus syllabic or minus syllabic? Fricative are minus syllabic because they have we have obstruent for they can't come in the at the syllable peak. Therefore we consider the fricative as a minus syllabic, as you see here. About the syllabic, fricative are minus syllabic. Okay, therefore C is minus syllabic because it can't come at the syllable peak, minus syllabic. About the sonorant, it is sonorant or not. We define the sonorant sounds here. About the sonorant, okay, minus sonorant sounds are produced with a greater constriction in the vocal tract. When we have the constriction, intentionally constriction in the mouth, we have the minus sonorant sounds. Minus sonorant sounds are oral stops, fricative, and affricative. Therefore, C is one of the fricative sounds. Therefore, it is minus sonorant because we have a structure for producing this sound. About the C, which is consonantal, because plus consonantal, because we produce it in the our mouth between the upper lip and pharynx. I want to explain another sound, like for example P. Okay, P is minus syllabic because the consonant can come at the syllable peak. The vowel can come and some sound would like ne, me in some example, like button, bottom. Therefore, we consider it as minus syllabic. About the sonorant, as I told you, the oral stop are minus sonorant. About the consonantal, they are plus consonantal because they produce with the it is bilabial, and bilabial are plus consonantal. The bilabial are plus consonantal here. Bilabial are plus consonantal, which I explained them for you. Please, I want you to describe the sounds according to this feature, and you should be able to write them. Here I write their features in this way, but when you write an article, and ordinarily we describe them by a matrix, and which their order are not important. uh, almost always we determine them like in matrix. For example, here for when I want to enroll, I want to describe say I write the feature in this way, in this matrix. For example, minus syllabic. Plus consonantal. The order is not important. We show them in this way as a matrix. I think it is enough for this session, and I will explain another feature. And I want you to review this movie many times to be able to learn this sound. It is very important, and I will explain another feature in the next session. Thank you.